Honestly, this has been quite an interesting transfer window, hasn't it? Because there have been some big signings. Chelsea might be about to make an even bigger one as well. They are in talks, apparently, over a deal to sign Napoli centre-back Koulibaly. That's mega. Like, I honestly think that's huge.
So do I.
Christensen's gone, Barcelona, Rudiger's out as well, Real Madrid. The incoming ones that they have kind of confirmed, personal terms have been agreed with Nathan Ake. That's about 40 million from City. Apparently close to signing Raheem Sterling for a fee of about 50 million. I think he's joining up with them, isn't he, in pre-season as well in America. So maybe another room for a centre-forward, but that position was the one that worried you, Ali, centre-back.
Yes,
Ake coming in, Koulibaly, that's pretty good, isn't it?
I would be ecstatic with Koulibaly. Haven't seen just as much of him, obviously, but a couple of years ago I thought he was arguably one of the better centre-backs in the world at that particular time. I don't think he'll have, I think at that time there was one or two of the major clubs looking to get him, but he wasn't for sale. So I would think that would be an excellent move. Nathan Ake is obviously tried and tested, and at that level wouldn't be a problem with that. Sterling's on, you go over the line. I know I'm pushing it a little bit, Woodsy, but if they could get somebody like Lewandowski, that would be the signing. Yeah, that would be the signing. Certainly the signing for Chelsea. It'd be absolutely fantastic. But I'm glad to see there has eventually been a little bit of movement, because I just felt obviously with certainly three big ones going out, the two centre backs, the centre forward going out, I thought they had to make inroads to getting players in. Sterling, I think Sterling's one that really interests me. It really is. I think it'd be a great signing. Obviously he'll be wanting to get more game time than he was getting at City, and I think he'd probably get that, or definitely get that at Chelsea. And I think that would be the kind of one of the marquee signings. However, more importantly for me, and it probably is more importantly, replacing Rudiger, and to a lesser extent Christensen, because I thought Rudiger was one of the best defenders in Europe. Just no nonsense, proper old school defender, right on your case. That centre forwards don't want to play against, and he will take a bit of replacing. But Koulibaly I like.
I'm just reading more reports just to find out exactly what's going on. Having a look at Dave Ornstein, he's my oracle. Chelsea close to agreements on fee plus personal terms to sign Koulibaly. It's not a done deal, and Napoli often tricky, but talks moving forward. 40 million euro deal plus a long-term contract. 31 years old. Kimpembe still in the mix. Ake still in the mix. Koundé still in the mix as well. So Chelsea looking very busy in this market. As a new owner, going into Chelsea, that owner, Todd Boehly, he'll have his own agenda and his own way of running that club. But he has got big boots to fill in the way that Chelsea used to do business, because they were ruthless, they were successful. Managers didn't spend very long at that side. I'm really interested to see what sort of Chelsea culture will be created there, Ali. And they're bringing in players like this and promising fans that they will be contending in this title race. It's going to make next season very interesting, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Because they definitely fell off towards the end of the last season. There were obviously one or two outside influences in that as well, which would have an effect, an understandable effect on it. However, he has got to make his mark, and I think he will make his mark. I mean, I wasn't happy with all and I told you before, I wasn't happy with all the kind of Ronaldo talk and all that stuff. He wants to impress the Chelsea support. He wants to give the Chelsea support an indication that he's going to support the manager, and it looks like he's going to do it.
Yeah.
If he gives Thomas Tuchel a backing to go and get quality players, centre-backs and forwards of the quality of perhaps Lewandowski and certainly Sterling, then that would certainly be all the Chelsea fans could look for, I would think.
Yeah. Spurs fans, do you want a little bit of information as well? Here's what's happening with you guys. Been quite busy in the transfer market already.
Yeah.
Antonio Conte has suggested that there's more to come.
It will be very important to have the ambition to be competitive and to try to give everything. It will be a really tough season, a really demanding season. I'm sure that we want to enjoy this season and to play for competitions and to try to be competitive in every competition that we are going to play. And then we'll see what happens in 2 months, if there is the possibility to strengthen the squad, we'll do it.
Okay, so far, Ivan Perisic on a free, Fraser Forster free, Yves Bissouma, but I think it's a really good signing there. 25 million for Yves Bissouma. Richarlison 60 million as well. How do you see Richarlison slotting into that side?
It's a funny one. The answer is actually I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I look at Spurs' front three in recent years, and it's been the strongest part of their team for me, would you, by some considerable distance. Richarlison obviously strengthens the squad, but does he get in the starting front three? I'm not so sure he does, you know. I really don't know. I agree with you. I think Bissouma is a great signing. I like the fact that Conte has gone in early and done his business pretty early as he possibly could, which is a great sign for Spurs. You know, it's an obvious question to ask it, but I actually don't know. Richarlison's a player I've always liked at Everton. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very, very committed, and he's no shortage of talent. But is he going to have an automatic starting player in that Spurs front three? I ain't so sure, but he'll certainly strengthen the squad. That is without doubt. But it's all shaping up to be another fantastic season, which I've got to say. You look at the top clubs all strengthening. You know, obviously Manchester City's the main one with the centre forward Haaland. We're all looking forward to seeing that. Liverpool have, again, in forward areas, okay, they've lost one, but they've brought another one in. So it's going to be really, really interesting. But as you say, it's teams in and around those Champions League places and top six that's going to have the biggest change, and it's going to be interesting to see how these guys all adapt. The Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Spurs and things like that. So I'm looking forward to it very much.
Yeah, you might have seen as well, Spurs fans, if you were watching around social media yesterday, a little glimpse of what pre-season looks like under Antonio Conte this season, and it looks absolutely brutal. He had them running, they're in South Korea, and he had them running lengths of the pitch. But after they were finished, Ali, the guys were on the floor. I think someone actually threw up. I feel like, was it Harry? Harry Kane actually vomited.
Yeah.
Because they were so
right?
Shattered. They are being worked to the bone, but this is going to be, exactly, this is going to be a very fit Spurs team that's going to come back.
If I'm a Spurs fan, I'm delighted to see that. I mean, I'm not delighted to see people throwing up. That's a crazy thing to say, but I'm delighted to see the boys getting worked really, really hard. Mm-hmm. You know, because there's a lot of it. They're all done obviously with their tests and all that stuff, and you know, their pulses and blood and all that. And I get all that; it's fantastic. But at the same time, there's something refreshing to see the lads working hard together. We used to call it character running. You know what I mean? You can see people who wanted to run the extra 50 yards. I know but it's amazing. You can learn a lot about your teammates in a training session. Believe me, you can.
Maybe that's what he's doing. Who are my warriors for this season?
I don't have any doubt that's what he's doing, would you?
Yeah.
And he'll be watching the training. He'll be watching who's going to run the extra 5 yards.
He's also been talking about fighting on all four fronts, and I think if you, it's no surprise really, is it? If you want to get the best chance of winning silverware, put as much of a big side or as much as a competitive side in each competition and try and get to the latter stages and see what you can do. But it feels like with the signing the likes of Richarlison, it feels like he's trying to create that B side that are going to be just as strong or close to his A side. So he's got more chance. So Spurs fans, let us know how you're feeling about these new signings and who you might be bringing in, because he's saying it's not done yet. 81089 at TS Breakfast.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.